Heyo, it's Billy, it's Bradley, and we're back. It's Saturday night. We're live.
Oh, yeah, we're live.
It's Saturday Night Live. That's right. We are here to do some lineup lockdown work for you. Billy and I have been crushing this year with the stardom sittums for y'all. Some of the best advice in the industry. Billy, you've been on fire lately. Top 7 finishes over the last 2 weeks. Man, we should just start, all hail the chief at this point. Jeez Louise.
I had some catching up to do. The first few weeks were pretty ugly, but I'm back.
The groove is in. Billy has been crushing. I mean, I haven't been doing too bad either, but the Moscow Mule, is that the secret sauce, Billy?
Yeah, it's kind of a crossfaded Moscow Mule. It's got THC and vodka in it. This is like the perfect little nightcap to get me going for the wake up early to get the England game, because that's 6 a.m. my time.
It's not England this week, Billy. It's Germany.
Whatever. You know what
it's
I'm
Germany.
Saying. It's early as hell is what it is. It's way too early for us West Coasters. So yes, got to get a little nightcap going before I can get to bed, because I'm normally a night owl. I'm like a 1 a.m., 2 a.m. kind of guy normally. And so turn around to get to 6, I'm usually not doing well on Sunday mornings.
Well, that's not the only thing that will be new for you, Billy. If all of you haven't noticed, Billy is looking 10 years younger and 10 pounds lighter because he has trimmed the beard.
Gone. It's gone. I started with just the sides, and then it kind of looks funny, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to trim it off. You know what? Just going to clean it up, and we're good to go. And my wife is like, that looks so much better. She's like, I like the beard, but she's like, you look younger. So
hopefully it isn't a Samson and Delilah scenario, So there you go. Billy and I are here to crush your lineups for week number 9. So I logged in a half hour before, Billy, and we already had like 20 comments. People are clamoring. They are ready for some advice. As everyone knows, we go about a half hour for the show. It's one of the best stardom situm shows in the business. Let's get to it. Daniel kicks us off. Hey, boys, are we starting Puka against Green Bay, or are we starting Lockett against Baltimore? The concern is, of course, Stafford and Puka. They're both questionable. Stafford, the game time decision. I expect Puka to play, but I am concerned about Stafford.
That being said, McVay usually finds the best set of players, even when they aren't projected to do the best. I mean, look what Baker Mayfield did when he came in last year and moved this offense and moved the chains. I know it's not Baker Mayfield at helm as the second quarterback, but I do think that they are going to have a decent pass attack still. So I'm still going to go Puka here. Puka's been good. Although I would not argue with you if you really wanted to go Lockett, because Lockett has been productive this season, as he always has been. And this Seattle-Baltimore game could potentially become a shootout. So I'm fine either way. If I convert to the actual rankings, Puka's at wide receiver 16 right now, and Lockett is at wide receiver 28. So it's a big tier gap, but I could see a scenario where it's closer in real life.
I have him closer. Nakua at 21 for me, and Lockett at 30. But if we get word that Stafford does not play, I'm moving Nakua below Lockett at this point.
Okay,
because it's Brett Rippon. It's Brett Rippon expected to. Yeah, it's going to rip our fantasy teams apart. Dustin Bailey, rest of season. Are we going Baker Mayfield or Will Levis?
Didn't.
I like Mayfield.
I mean, Levis already played, didn't he?
Well, rest of season.
Okay. Rest of season. I'm like, you don't have this option. You played Thursday. Rest of season. That's a 50-50 to me. I mean, I could see a scenario where either of them, depending upon matchups, quite frankly, would probably play the matchup game. I think Levis probably has a higher ceiling, but they both have weapons. I'm probably going to lean Levis, but not a lot.
Yeah, I go Mayfield with just the existence of both Evans and Chris Godwin, and the ineffectiveness of Rachaad White as the rusher, but his effectiveness as a receiver. So you're able to get more fantasy points from him. So there are a lot of ways that the passing attack can win for Tampa. It's pretty much DeAndre Hopkins or bust in the passing game for the Titans. So that's my lean is Mayfield. Oh man, we've got some fantasy defenses, Billy.
All right, read them off to me.
Oh, this is gross. We've got this is just a litany. It's like
Houston versus Tampa, Chargers versus Jets, New England Atlanta. Yeah. Atlanta versus Minnesota, New England versus who's New England playing again? New England's playing Washington, and then Green Bay is playing the Rams. Oh boy.
I have New England at 5. I'd probably go Atlanta.
Atlanta
I have at 6, so it's a coin flip between those.
Yeah, I'd go Atlanta, New England as the top 2 probably.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd probably go with
Houston at 8. That's where I have Houston.
Yeah, probably Houston, and then if I think that swaps if Stafford's out, then Green Bay, and then Houston. Last is Chargers. So because Chargers don't play defense, anyways,
they don't.
So
even if it is, the Chargers versus the Jets.
Hey, Hero Nunzero, next time just read me every defense on your waiver wire while you're at it.
Flosaurus, pick one. We've got some tight ends. Are we going Everett, Komet, or Juwan Johnson? And then
I'm not answering tight ends. I can't fucking pick a tight end. My life dependent on it.
This is a Bradley question. This is a Bradley question. So I'll just pull up my tight end rankings, and I've got Everett at 19, Komet at 13, and Juwan Johnson at 23. So Komet is the answer here.
Yep, I have Komet the highest as well, so for what it's worth. But I can't pick a tight end if my life depended on it. So give me quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, sure. Tight end, just pick them out of a hat.
Sure. And that's my one strength is I'm 8th in the contest right now in tight end. So let's go. Jim from YouTube, I'm worried about the Vikings with no Cousins. Start Demario Douglas over Jordan Addison. So Jaren Hall is expected to get the start for the Vikings. The Vikings have the 3rd best PFF pass block grade. And in my evaluation, but pre-draft for Jaren Hall, I said that he does terrible when he's pressured, but if he has a good offensive line and he's capable enough of making some throws. He was an 81 PFF grade last year at BYU. He was Puka Nakua's quarterback. So maybe it's disaster, but maybe he's just okay.
He's got Jordan the weapons to do some stuff, at least.
Yeah, Jordan Addison's played very well over the last few weeks. Demario Douglas is ascending. Devontae Parker is out. Kendrick Bourne is out. Demario Douglas, I have at wide receiver 34 right now. Jordan Addison, I think, is in that same area. Addison, I have at 33.
I have Addison at 28, and I have where's Douglas? Douglas is at 33.
Yeah, I have Addison at 33, Douglas at 34. So both of us
both lean Addison. Yeah, and just to give perspective, like inside the Excel sheet, I have Hall as the starter, and I have him down as followed. And this is still giving Addison the bump. It's going to be 34 attempts. 22 completions, and these are fractions here, but I'm not reading out the fractions. 190 passing yards, 5.6 yards per attempt, and 0.93 passing touchdowns, 1.2 interceptions, and that still gives Addison the bump.
All right, there we go, Jim. Hopefully Addison works out for you. Another desperation cry for help. Rubio is in the chat. He needs to know who to start at quarterback Is it Sam Howell or is it CJ Stroud against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I have Stroud at 8, Howell at 10, so I do have them close.
Yeah.
But Stroud let us down last week when we thought the Carolina Panthers were going to be a nice matchup.
Yeah, he did let us down. I have Howell slightly behind Stroud as well. I have Stroud at 8, and I got Howell at 12. It's a decent matchup from a QB perspective. Tampa gives up the 14th most fantasy points to quarterback position. They're beatable in the secondary, so if we can get them there, I'm going to go Stroud here. It's so hard to bench Howell, but I could see this being a game where like Belichick just disguises blitz packages and just kind of dominates Howell's mind and wins it that way. And Howell has kind of a not necessarily a blow up game, but not a good game like he has been having.
And Stroud, I think things can go favorably, especially Vita Vea is ruled out. He was questionable. He was out last week. He's currently questionable, and losing Vea in the middle of that Tampa front seven is a big loss. And so losing him could be a big needle changer for how Stroud can access time in the pocket and allow plays to develop, things like that. It also would affect Devin Singletary moving up in running back rankings as well. So Rubio, we both lean CJ Stroud this week. All right, we got to pick one: Kyle Pitts, JSN, or Roschon Johnson, half PPR.
Kyle Pitts this week.
Yeah, it's Kyle Pitts week, right? Drake London is out,
which means it's going to be Mac and everyone else. Because Arthur Smith doesn't.
Cordell Patterson, baby,
right? Yeah, it's gonna be Cordell Patterson. It's gonna be like Mac Hollins and some scrub they signed off the practice.
Van Jefferson is gonna have a spike week. God help us. Sorry, Gooner boy. Yeah, it's Kyle Pitts week. Josh Lorzel from YouTube. We got to pick 2 in FFPC. Puka, the Gus bus. Come on, why is it not clicking? Are you clicking it?
No, I'm not clicking it.
All right, Puka, Gus bus, or Tank Dell.
Pick 2, so we got to sit 1. Yeah. I'm going to sit Tank out of the group.
Yeah, I think so. You can't ignore what Gus Edwards has done over the last couple weeks. He's been the running back 1 and running back 6. Granted, against Arizona, but I mean, you can't ignore he's getting volume. He's getting goal line work. He may not be super involved in the passing game, but that won't matter if he gets touchdowns. And so it's Puka over Tank Dell as well. Are we going Ramondre or Chuba full PPR?
Oh, it's a close one, actually. I go Ramondre without having 2 wide receivers. We probably see an increase in receptions from the running back crew. So Ramondre Steven is inside my top 12 this week.
Ooh, I like it. I have Ramondre at 16. Washington's very beatable. Chuba I do have at 18, so it is closer, but still leaning Ramondre. The Washington defense is beatable everywhere, especially because they
gave up half of it too.
Sweat is gone. Chase Young is gone. That secondary was already very, very porous. So that could Mac Jones could be in store for a sneaky spike week. If you're in a desperation quarterback, need a desperation start at quarterback, Mac Jones is consideration streamer. Okay, we have the Kansas City defense, but New England and Atlanta are on the wire along with the Bears. Should we make any switches?
What's the question?
Well, he's got Kansas City, but should he pick him New England or Atlanta?
It depends on who you have to drop, but if you can drop some like scrub, then yeah, I would start them this week over Kansas City because that game's going to be a shootout. But wouldn't want to drop Kansas City. They've been pretty good.
Yeah, they have been playing very well. That's a one week blip. That's how we can view it.
Yep.
Stroud owner, should Watson and Howell are on the wire. Who's best for my bench or to start? I mean, we talked about Stroud over Howell, but both of those over Watson.
Yeah, Watson sucks.
We need to see it consistently from him before he gets
he's playing banged up, hasn't played well. I'm benching Watson
for sure. Let's keep her moving. We are lightning through this, Billy. Whew, shout out
Let's
to
do
us.
it.
Shout out to the listeners and viewers. Half PPR, and we got tight end premium, Billy.
Ooh, my favorite.
Singletary, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, and Dallas Goedert. We have to sit one of these.
I'm going to sit Reed. I'm starting Singletary, Watson, Goddard.
Yes, same. Cosign.
Because there's no Pierce, so that makes a difference for Singletary.
Solid show, gents. Thanks. Appreciate you, Jamie from YouTube. PPR for the flex. We got to pick one. Rashee Rice, Lockett, or Singletary.
Just one.
Rice and Lockett's tough.
Yeah, I probably slightly lean Lockett, but I kind of want a piece of this game. It's going to be a bit highest over under of the week. I might
Rice
gamble.
is the best wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs by far.
I might gamble and go Rice this game over Lockett, but my rankings say Lockett over Rice.
Same. I'm not afraid. I agree with you there, Billy. It's a tough one. I think both of them over Singletary.
I just want to put a stipulation on this too. Like if you need just like a solid 10 to 12 points, I'm probably going Singletary. But if you want to try to shoot for, 18 to 22, I'm going probably Rice.
All right, there we go. Strong advice from Billy regarding what to do. We also have a great partnership. So we'll take a moment. We're going to hear from one of our partners, Bet Openly.
Hey, so many ask me, what's wrong with sportsbooks? Why so many of them fail? The answer is simple. They don't innovate. They're just casino sportsbooks on a phone. That's all they've been. There are a few that are doing a good job. We partner with them. Most of them, not so much. Until Bet Openly came along. Bet Openly said, hey, we're going to innovate. We're going to do something groundbreaking. We're going to have peer-to-peer betting in all states, and you pay 1%. When you win, you pay just 1% on your winnings. You heard that right. It's 1%. With code Underworld, you qualify for just that 1% transaction fee on Bet Openly. It gives you ultimate flexibility to set your own lines and browse lines that others have set. Think about it. That's what betting should be. And now that is the reality. BetOpenly.com. The code is Underworld. Check it out.
All right, check it out. Our partners and friends at Bet Openly. We've got a show each week where we have some of our friends from Bet Openly on there. And Trevor, in fact, has been crushing it over at Bet Openly. So make sure you guys are using the promo code Underworld as you get into Bet Openly.
Only 1% juice.
Only 1% juice. Can't beat it. Gooner Boy and Ruckus and Flowosaurus are all shouting us out in the chat.
Let's
Justin
go,
Boyd, half PPR. We've got either Douglas or Watson or Quentin Johnston. We got to pick one of those wide receivers.
I just don't trust Quentin Johnson, so I'm going to rule him out of this group immediately. It's pretty interesting and close between Pop Douglas and Watson. I go with Pop Douglas because I think that this game could get ugly with Green Bay and the Rams. So I'm going to go Pop Douglas.
It could get real ugly. I have Douglas ahead of Watson, and that is a Green Bay Packers fan. It hurts my heart,
Let's
Billy.
go.
It hurts my heart.
Now, I have Douglas pretty high this week, actually. There's two receivers out now, and we've seen them not really favor or even like Juju. So I think Pop Douglas is the now default number one.
And then are we going Swift or Addison?
Swift.
Swift.
Yeah, Swift.
Yeah, there's just too much risk with Hall, whether he's good or bad. We just don't know.
Swift gets 55% of the rushing attempts too.
Yes. Jana Shin from YouTube. Half PPR, are we going Moss or Singletary?
Moss gets Carolina, who gives up the third most fantasy points to the running back position. They give up 5 yards per carry. I think I have to go Moss.
I also will be going with Moss. Moss going into week number 8 was number 2 in the NFL in rushing yards. And that's with Jonathan Taylor still being present for some of these games. So
crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. So Zach Moss, I think, is the lean as well. He's going to get touches. Jonathan Taylor's going to get his. We're not worried about that. If Downs is a no-go, which he is a midweek questionable and game time decision, we've got to pick one between these: Roshan, Pierre, Strong, or Shakir.
Waiver wire, maybe? I don't think I'm starting the last two, so I would probably gamble with Roshan, but his role hasn't grown because Foreman took advantage of the situation of everyone being out, and now Roshan is playing second fiddle to him as well. So I would honestly I'm curious who's on your waiver wire. Why don't you take a look on there and let us know who's on the waiver wire? Because I'm looking elsewhere for all three of these options, quite frankly.
Ouch. Fair enough. My boy Khalil Shakir got me into the top 21 of rankers last week, so I'll take Shakir for a repeat performance. Joanna jumps in. Shout out to you, Joanna. If Jacobs rushes for 120 yards and scores 2 touchdowns, she wins $1,200. How likely is this?
Like Jim Carrey, you're saying there's a chance. Maybe, but not likely.
I mean, non-zero chance, but it's also look, the coach has said he wants to ride Josh Jacobs, and that's possible. I think it's more likely to get the 120 rushing yards than the 2 touchdowns. That's how I would.
Let's face it, the Giants have actually been kind of nasty on defense. I don't think it happens. Like I'd put the chances at less than 3%.
Yeah, less than 3%. Rubio's like, who the hell is this new guy? Billy, I think that's you.
Yeah,
they don't recognize the new Billy Muzio.
That's great. Yeah,
this is great. We'll keep it going. Should we start Ford or Ramondre? Jerome Ford, remember the Cleveland Browns, they get Arizona, and we just saw what Gus Edwards was able to do.
They removed him from the injury report. I ran the numbers in a hypothetical situation while I was on the Fantasy Pros podcast with Pat Fitzmaurice and Tara this earlier in the week, because I was, kind of called out for my low ranking on Ford. But stipulation was that if he was removed from the practice report, it would move him up significantly. And that moved him up to RB 11, which would be just inside the top 12. And I have Stevenson at 12. So it would be literally 11, 12 in the rankings, is where I have him right now. So flip a coin.
Okay.
But I lean Ford.
Billy reminds me of the comments are great. The people are clamoring. Awesome. This is awesome. This is phenomenal. The people are reacting to the new facial hair of Billy Muzio. This is phenomenal. Johnny from Detroit. Are we gonna sit Puka this week? I mean, it depends on who you have, right?
Yeah, it depends on the options.
Okay. It's the eyes. Joanna jumps in too. The eyes. I've been pondering that for 8 weeks. Oh my gosh. Ruckus is hilarious. Let's go. We got to start Puka, Nico. I assume Nico Collins, Jacoby, or Flowers. So we've got some 4 wide receivers. Yeah, they're all like mid wide receiver 2 flex plays, right?
Yeah, with the quarterback shakeup, I'm probably going to sit Jacoby and see what happens. And so I think Nico, I like Nico this week. I'm gonna go Nico. Probably go Nico and Flowers, but if Stafford's out, if Stafford's in, I probably go Nika and Puka if he's in as well.
Yeah, I have Nico at 17, Flowers at 18, Puka at 21.
Yeah.
So
close.
I have those 2 ahead as well. All right, are we going to go with the Vegas D or the Bills D? Remember, the Bills get the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, Vegas this week.
Yikes. So
I mean, you were looking at like a 50. I think it's a 50 over under. Let me pull up.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah,
we've got
the Vegas over unders. Yeah,
we got
50
news from Shefty. Shefty is reporting that Matthew Stafford is unlikely to play.
There you go.
That is the most up-to-date news that we have per Adam Schefter, dropping in the middle of the live stream. Matthew Stafford not expected to play, probably going to move down Puka a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think we also have to move down Kupp a little bit more too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kupp is wide receiver 10 for me. And I think he drops pretty far looking at what he's done the last 2 weeks. Wide receiver 48 and 76 over the last two weeks, despite the fact that he's gotten 17 targets. So
I could update the sheet real quick. So Stetson Bennett would be starting, yeah?
No, Brett Rippon.
Oh,
Stetson Bennett is on the non-injury exempt list or whatever.
That's right. So Brett Rippon.
He had some off the field things that nobody's talking about, evidently.
So let me see.
We're getting live rankings updates from Billy in real time, y'all. Make sure you are smashing that subscribe button if you are new to Player Profiler. Billy and I are bringing you the best.
So Brett Rippon comes in. Let's just swap all the stats over to Brett Rippon. I got to lower his completion percentage. 1 second. And I'll lower his yards per attempt, lower his touchdown percentage, and then we'll leave the receivers the same from a standpoint. And then let's take a look where they moved to. So Puka moved to 25.
Yep. I think that's fair.
Cooper Kupp moved to 14. And that might be too high, honestly. I have to look at that closer.
I agree.
So that moves him down pretty significantly.
Yeah, Brett Rippon on the season completed 5 passes on 10 attempts, a 44 PFF passing grade. So pretty bad. For reference, Stafford was at 81 on the season. So Stafford's played pretty well overall, despite the occasional struggle. But yeah, the downgrade from Stafford to Rippon is going to be very significant, and we need to make those adjustments. I agree with you. Kupp, even at 14, feels a little high with Brett Rippon throwing the ball.
Yeah, Brett Rippon so he has 10 attempts this season at 4.2. That's horrible. 4.2 average, and then 5.5 in 2022 with 88 attempts. His career is at a 4.28 yards per attempt. That's disgusting.
Yeah, he has not eclipsed 47 PFF passing grade any season in his career. His career NFL passer rating is 62.8, just atrocious. A 4-to-8 touchdown to interception ratio in his career, completed 60% of his passes. And Billy mentioned all of the other stats. So Brett Rippon is a massive downgrade.
A 2.8% touchdown rate percent. That's garbage. Yeah, I'm gonna do more updates, but
that's Kenny Pickett level.
What I'm saying is that this is gonna continue as these numbers get updated. It's gonna continue to push all these receivers and weapons down.
Okay, we'll keep her moving as Billy is working double time given the Stafford news that he is unlikely to play. James Cook, Chuba, Downs, or Pop Dougie Fresh.
Dougie Fresh.
We're just making up names now for these guys.
I kind of like the James Cook matchup this week. I know there's a lot of uncertainty, but I think it's going to be Chuba and James Cook this week.
Chuba and James Cook. I co-signed that. Downs I had ahead of Pop Dougie Fresh anyways, but we'll see if Downs plays. That may be a non-factor. Okay. We've got some Nico and Flowers co-signing. Taysom Hill or Trey McBride at the tight end position. Taysom is coming off 2 rushing touchdowns. Trey McBride, though, finishing he had a massive game, but now it is Clayton Tune out of the University of Houston. Tune finished last year as the number 2 PFF graded quarterback.
I have Taysom about 5 spots ahead of McBride. I have Taysom into the top 10.
I have Taysom at 11. I have McBride at 9, even though it is Cleveland.
There we go. Flip a coin.
Okay. It is close. And at this point, you're just trying to get some points. And I do understand the upside of Taysom Hill. You can't ignore that. Okay, we got to decide Darrell Henderson or Justice Hill.
Henderson.
Yeah, especially
they might lean on the run game now.
Mm-hmm. And Henderson, I watched, Billy, believe it or not, I watched some LA Rams film this week. And both Royce Freeman and Darrell Henderson looked good. They passed the eye test. They were getting
Royce has been looking really good. I think Royce looks better than Freeman.
I think that both of them are doing just fine. And Henderson was sniped to the goal line the last week. So I think that it just depends on who gets that goal line work, who's going to end up getting more. But ultimately, I think I agree Darrell Henderson over Justice Hill for right now. Are we going Henderson or Chuba Hubbard? I think we're going Hubbard.
I'd go Hubbard here. Yeah, declare the starter.
Kincaid or Ford in the flex, full PPR. Given the Arizona matchup, we have to go with Ford, right?
Kincaid or Ford. Oh, man, that's a good one though. Kincaid's been getting
It's
more
closer
involved.
than initial.
It's not, but it's not premium, so Ford.
Yeah. Okay, Joanna's asking like an open-ended question about productive players who are going to falter, or maybe players who have been failing lately who are going to explode. And one player that I think who's been failing lately, who's due to explode, is T. Higgins. T. Higgins has really struggled as of late, but I think he's overcome some of the injuries. Joe Burrow has overcome some of the injuries, and we've got a prime game for T. Higgins to explode. So I think he's due to have some better games moving forward. He's a buy low for me.
So you're talking about a player who's going to kind of pop back. T. Higgins is a good one.
I mean, either or a player who, will get worse as the season goes on.
I mean, the easy answer is Puka with everything happening right now, but I think it feels like cheating. I don't think I can answer that way. I'm going to say Gus the Bus, because there's no way he's going to keep doing what he's doing if he loses any volume. And he's such a plotter. He's getting lucky the last couple of weeks.
All right, there you go, Joanna. PPR, would you guys flex Roshan or Royce Freeman?
I think I have Royce higher than him.
I think I have Royce higher than him as well.
Yeah.
Pick one: Minshew, Mac, Jones, or Derek Carr.
Oh man, I kind of like Minshew here. No, Carr's got Chicago. Carr, and then Minshew.
Carr, I have at 11. Minshew is 12. So the edge is to Carr. Mac Jones much later, even though there is spike week potential against Washington. Johnny is 2-6. He's looking to acquire. Who would we trade away? Who's a trade away candidate? Etienne, Swift, Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
Chan. Yeah, I agree. Jacobs. Yeah, it's Jacobs.
I don't want him on my roster. That's why.
Hit the like, y'all. Oh, very good. Appreciate the strong advice. Thanks, Justin. Half PPR. Are we going Rice or Henderson? I'm going Rice. As we said, we want parts of this game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Highest over under the week.
Would you start Sam Howell or Gardner Minshew?
Very close, but slightly Gardner Minshew this week.
I would lean Howell. It's close, though. I agree. They're neck and neck. Need to start 3: Moss, Hubbard, Ford, Rice, or McLaurin. So we're sitting 2. We got to sit 2 of them.
I think I'm sitting all the receivers.
I think we sit the receivers too.
Yeah.
RB2, hell is here. That's right. Justice Hill, Foreman, or Charbonnet, knowing that he's also playing Ken Walker.
I'm playing Foreman.
Yeah, Foreman is going to get the volume we anticipate.
I don't like stack cuffing.
Goal line work as well. Oh, no, Joanna's wasting $70. Sorry, Joanna.
Oh, Jesus, yes. Cash it out. Take the $5 loss right now. Just cash it.
We got to... let's see. I think we answered this one. Yeah.
Yep, we did. Next one.
All right. Ruckus. If you do Pitts 100 yards anytime, it's 2,300.
Oh, that's maybe that's a good line, actually.
That's not bad.
That's actually not that's actually a pretty good bet. I like that bet.
I do like it too. It's very within the range of outcomes. Schultz or Logan Thomas?
Gosh, Schultz fucked me last week. I got Schultz pretty high again this week, but I'm going to move him down. I'm going to say Schultz.
Schultz at 8 for me, Thomas at 10. So give me Schultz.
Yeah.
We got a kicker question, Billy.
I'm not doing kicker questions.
At one point this season, I was the worst kicker ranker in Fantasy Pros.
Better than me because I don't rank them. Did you see the old? I think it was like 6 years ago. I forget which analyst did it. One guy was, I forget what show was that, man. It was on Sirius XM radio back in the day. they were talking about, the guy was going through all these kicker analytics, and the other guy said he would randomly pick a kicker out of a hat, and they were going to go with who has the highest. So he literally could pick the kicker one every single week, just pick one person, and then he would pick a name out of a hat. The other guy would. The hat won at the end of the season over an analyst. Over an analyst talking kickers. Like, that's just how fluky kickers are. Like, I don't do kickers. Like, literally pick a name out of a hat.
Just good luck and make sure they're kicking.
Just look at weather, look at cold weather, look at winds, and that's it. And the rest of it, that's all I look at.
Lou's worried about Waller, long-term hamstring injury, placed on the IR. Is he droppable in half PPR? Are we starting any of these depth piece tight ends? Man,
I think Bellinger is, if you are desperate, is an option here. Otten's actually a pretty good matchup this week. I'd go Otten probably over all these guys. If Everett's decent as well, if he's active, I think I lean Otten here.
I go with Everett. Those games can usually turn into shootouts, and Everett we've seen be leaned upon sometimes in the PPR realm. So even in half PPR, that's fine. So give me some Gerald Everett. But Waller droppable?
I wouldn't drop him. I'd hold him. Especially if those are the options you're looking at every week. I'd hold him, because even if he's back in 4 weeks, he's going to start in your lineup immediately.
Puka less than 6 points full PPR this week. I mean, it's possible.
Possible.
Stetson can't put the bottle down. Gosh. Yikes. With the Stafford news, are the Packers defense an option?
Yeah,
I think the Packers defense is very much an option, even though they are pretty porous. It's probably not going to be, shootout. It's probably, let's pull up the over unders for the game, but I don't anticipate it's going to be, the over under right now is 38. I think it'll drop overnight.
Yeah, it's going to drop. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's dropped already.
Joanna's saying that Diggs and Jacoby for Kamara and T. Higgins. She feels bad. Did she miss out?
I like the Diggs side. Oh, wait, for Kamara and T.
Yeah, give me Kamara and T, I think.
Yeah, I'd probably go Kamara.
Yeah. Good evening, gents. We are almost done, Billy. We are crushing it right now. Make sure you guys are smashing that subscribe button if you are not already subscribed to Player Profiler. He needs a running back 1 and 2 and a flex. Man, we got so many players here. We got Pollard. We got Walker. We're starting those guys. Garrett Wilson and Nico. Should we swap Rashad or Mondre in?
No, I'd leave those 2 running backs in.
Yeah.
You could argue to sit Pollard this week, honestly, but
the problem is, so I watched like the Dallas film, and the Cowboys are not using Pollard the right way. They're running him between the tackles. They're not giving him space to move. That's where he's most electric, and they're just not giving him space to run. And that's my concern with Pollard right now.
I'd stick to how we had it.
Yeah. But still, it's hard to bench Pollard.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm down a lot in redraft. Are we going Bateman, Shakir, or DJ Chark? Who's the highest upside guy on this list? I think it's DJ Chark is the highest upside.
I think so too, though. Bateman was the squeaky wheel this week.
That means nothing. He's not good.
So there's DJ Chark. I have like 20 spots ahead of him, Chark. But the squeaky wheel, either one gets replaced or 2 it gets oil. So
probably gets replaced with Nelson Aguilar. Roshan, Keontae, or Freeman.
Cleveland stuff. Probably Keontae though. Yeah, Keontae. He's gonna see a lot of work.
He's gonna see a lot of work. Maybe some Tony Jones sprinkled in too. How do you feel about stashing Quentin Johnson this week? Not great.
I hate Quentin Johnson. I'm not doing it. But sure, you stash him. Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't play him. Are
we gonna see Mixon turn it around? Probably not.
Yeah.
He's been playing the last season and a half under expectation. I don't think that's
it's all volume is what it's been kind of propping him up.
Yep. Have PPR, Mingo or Freeman or Keontae. Ingram, we're going to Ingram here.
Yep, Ingram as well.
Aaron Jones or Zach Moss, full PPR, and we get a 0.25 point per carry.
Oh, man, it changes things a little bit. quarter point per carry.
This is a squeaky wheel situation, right? With Aaron Jones.
That's also just like he could pull a hamstring in like the second quarter again. I have Aaron Jones 2 spots ahead of Moss. Yeah, I'm gonna go Jones. I think they do unleash him a little bit more this week. So, and he's got the biggest upside for sure.
Yeah, I have Jones at 18. I have Moss at 21. So 3 spots different there. Are we starting DJ Moore or Puka? We're starting DJ Moore.
DJ Moore, hands down.
Yeah, half PPR. Are we starting Ford or Henderson, or Rice or McLaurin?
Ford and Rice.
Ford and Rice. Yep. Puka gonna catch 8-yard passes and make them 25, maybe. Okay. Should we go with the Chargers or Pats this week?
I'm gonna go Patriots defense this week.
Patriots defense this week as well. Shakir usage was okay. Potential shootout. I don't know. That's rough.
I don't want to rely on it.
Yeah, no. That's exactly right. They need to get him out in space. They're using him like Zeke. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So Tony Pollard, unfortunately, not being used the right way is limiting his ceiling.
The surgery definitely like limited his explosiveness. Like he's not as explosive as he was last year.
This is true. This is true. I think that the fibula leg injury may still be lingering a little bit. 1 PPR, Aaron Jones, James Cook, or Ford. We talked about Aaron Jones already. He's a high-risk player. James Cook, you mentioned, has a good matchup against Cincinnati.
I lean Ford.
And this is a game that could be a big shootout with James Cook as well. But Ford, the matchup is just so juicy, right?
Yeah, Ford it's Arizona. I mean, they give up so many points. I'm going to lean Ford here, although there is a scenario where any of these guys could outlead the other one.
It's pretty close. This is a similar tier type of thing.
Ford and then probably Aaron Jones and then Cook for me.
And then is Christian Watson droppable in redraft?
Probably not. Him. No,
probably not. Grade the trade Olave, Gus Bus for McLaurin and Javonte.
Redraft. It says redraft. PPR Superflex.
Olave side. I don't feel great about it though.
I think I want the McLaurin Javonte side, especially depending upon how much time Curtis Samuel misses. But Javante's seeing increased workload. Has looked decent the last couple of weeks. Is getting a ton of carries, and McLaurin. This defense is horrible, and they're going to need to throw now even more to keep up. So I'm going to go McLaurin and Javonte.
Breaking news: Michael Wilson not expected to play for the Arizona Cardinals. Would you rather Rice or Puka? I think we're moving up Rice ahead of Puka in this instance, right?
I have Puka ahead of Rice, but I would probably sit him this week.
Yeah. Bray Teague, since I'm the tight end prophet, rest of season, Fergie or McBride. Also, we can go Taysom. Yeah, I think rest of the season, how can the Arizona Cardinals, especially now Michael Wilson is ruled out for this game in particular, but moving forward, McBride is the future. And he was the first tight end picked in the 2022 draft, 2nd round pedigree. He's an athlete. We've seen spike weeks from him before. Give me McBride just as the talent over Ferguson. Ferguson's going to have his spike weeks for sure. Let's not ignore that. Like, he's not going to be bad, because Dallas uses the tight end as part of their scheme, but McBride is significantly more talented, and with lacking of other important pieces, like James Conner's not there, right? You've got injuries to now DeMarcado. You've got injuries to Wilson. Hollywood Brown is fragile. So give me McBride rest of season. That's how I'm appreciating it. You look like John Travolta in Grease with a beard, Billy.
Man, I want to see a picture. If somebody's good at Photoshop, please take a picture of all 3 of the people we've mentioned today. Now, John Travolta, Bam, and what's his name from the league? I forgot who they said I looked like from the league. Rafi.
Rafi, yes.
Take them all, make one person, send it to me on Twitter.
I'm sure you can just drop pictures into ChatGPT and they can like create an amalgamation of Billy Muzio's face. We've got one last question, Evelyn. Shout out to you. Last question of the night. Full PPR, wide receiver 2. Are we going Brandon Cooks, JSN, or Reed? Oof.
Oof is right. Oh boy. I would beg to look at the waiver wire again, probably, but I'd probably go Cooks. I'd probably go
Cooks at 42,
yeah.
JSN at 46, and Reed is at 50. So give me Cooks.
And I got Cooks at 52, Reed at 55, and JSN at 62.
You hate JSN.
I do. He doesn't play enough. Doesn't play
Okay,
enough.
there we go. Y'all, it's been a great evening. Make sure you guys are smashing that subscribe button. Billy has been crushing it with first class fantasy with Theo as well. I've got my Thursday night tailgate that I have every Thursday. We preview that from 7:30 to 8. Any other drops you want to make, Billy, before we call it for the night?
No, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate you always keeping the chat lit on Saturday night as we get these lineup lockdowns. And make sure to check out the sponsors. It helps us as content creators. Bet Openly has been great with us. Bettle has been great with us, two of the newest sponsors. So go ahead and take a look at those inside the chat. There's weekly contests for both of them. So go to your emails. There's email blasts sent out of them. You can also go to the articles, and they're linked in there as well. That gets everybody a little bit of information. It's our community playing against each other. There's also analysts in there as well. So it's a lot of good fun. You can import your Dynasty lineups into Bettle. Bet Openly, you can bet peer-to-peer. So someone called me out last week for Taysom Hill, my ranking. I can't rank tight ends. I've said it, so I don't care. But if you want to challenge me on Bet Openly, you can send me a line. I'll accept it if I like it. So thanks, everybody.
Peace.
Hey, I want to take a moment to thank you for tuning in. It's important to me that all of our media be free. This is only possible because of you allowing a true independent sports media enterprise to thrive unlike any other in the business. So please subscribe to the All In Package to continue to make all of this possible, to ensure that all of our stats, information, data, content is available to you, especially you, the people that get the site and get the show.